Hello friends, today we are going to talk about Rabindranath Tagore's very popular poem titled This Dog. Let us first talk about life and literary contribution of a well-known poet in Indian literature, Rabindranath Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore is a great poet, playwright, novelist, musician, painter, philosopher, teacher, and short story writer. He is honored by titles like Gurudev, Kavi Guru, and Vishwa Kavi. He was a person of wide learning and knowledge. In 1913, he was awarded Nobel Prize in Literature for his collection of poems titled Gitanjali. There are 103 songs in this collection. Rabindranath Tagore has published his first collection of poems at the age of 16. Tagore has written 50 collections of poems along with numerous novels, short stories, plays in Bengali literature. Many of these have been translated into English by Tagore himself. Tagore was the founder of Vishwabharati University at Shantiniketan in West Bengal. He has introduced his own system of education. He always insists the idea to give education to the students in natural surrounding. Hence, he was founded Vishwabharati University at Santiniketan. Many of his songs have been set to music by himself. Notable among these are the national anthems of India and Bangladesh. The present poem, This Dog, is composed by Rabindranath Tagore in Bengali and transcreated by Kumud Biswas in English. It is the 14th poem in Tagore's poetic collection titled Arogya, which was published in 1940. This poem has universal appeal and charm. It was written in the latter years of Tagore's life. During the final years of his life, Tagore used to take breakfast at Shantiniketan every morning, sitting in the veranda. Usually, a stray dog who wanders on the streets behind the veranda at Shantiniketan used to come to Tagore and sit patiently at the feet of the poet. The dog shared Tagore's breakfast every day. Resultantly, the dog and Tagore became an intimate friends. The poem titled This Dog deals with the relationship between human being and an animal like a dog. The poem opens with the description of an everyday activity at Shantiniketan on the part of the poet Rabindranath Tagore. The poem opens with these lines: Every morning, this dog, very attached to me, quietly keeps sitting near my seat. Till touching its head, I recognize its company. This recognition gives it so much joy pure delight ripples through its entire body. In the first stanza of the poem, Rabindranath Tagore describes everyday activity that takes place at Shantiniketan. Every morning, Tagore and a dog sit together, and the dog wants the speaker, means the Tagore, touch its head in light of its recognition. When the poet, as usual, touches the dog, it becomes happy because the speaker has given recognition to its company. So, this activity that goes every day, a recognition on the part of the speaker was very important to the animal. This recognition gives a lot of happiness to the dog, and it spray a kind of delight through its entire body, and very lovably the dog came near the poet and sat on his feet. So this kind of recognition, which has shown by the speaker in this poem, is very important. The dog and the poet lives like each other's company, a close, intimate friendship that has been developed between the dog and the Tagore. So in the first stanza, describes the poet's friendship with the dog. See the second stanza of the poem. Among all dumb creatures, dog was a dumb creature as we know. It is the only living being. Dog is the only living being among the dumb creatures that has seen the whole man beyond what is good or bad in him. It has seen for his love, it can sacrifice its life, it can love him too for the sake of love alone, for it is he who shows the way to the vast world pulsating with life. The word pulsating means alive. The word pulsating means alive. So, this middle part of the song, Tagore describes the dog and his routine activity. He says that the dog is the only animal among the dumb creatures that has seen the whole man beyond his good or bad qualities. The dog recognizes, understands the good or bad qualities in a human being. It also sees his love, and it also gives sacrifice for this human being. The dog can love him for the sake of love alone. Love for the sake of love, that is the dictum that has been applied for the dog. For it is he, means the dog, who shows the way to the vast world pulsating with life. Simply, the poet says that the dog is the only animal that has seen the whole man beyond his good or bad qualities. See, what is more important to note here is that the dog recognizes the good or bad qualities among the whole creature, the whole living creatures. The dog loves its master for the sake of pure love only. In this case, the dog loves on the poet for the sake of love only. It has no other feelings other than love and loyalty. So the word loyalty is very important in this connection. The dog shows loyalty, the dog shows sacrifice, and the dog shows pity and love. The quality of loyalty is unique in this animal, namely the dog. By its devotion and loyalty, the dog reveals a world which is full of life, and this the life which is full of happiness, joy that we have seen in the world of this dog. The dog has deep devotion for its master, and hence the poet says that it is he who shows the way to the vast world pulsating with life. So, simply speaking, the middle part of the poem talks about the real, genuine love of the dog towards his master. The dog loves its master for the sake of pure and genuine love only. Love for the sake of love only is the main crux of this stanza. The dog was very loyal to his master, as this stray dog has shown in this poem. We will switch over to the last part of the song. I will read the last stanza first, and then we will discuss it thoroughly. When I see its deep devotion, it means dog's deep devotion, the offer of its whole being, what he offers in the form of love, in the form of sacrifice, in the form of happiness to the whole being. I fail to understand. I means the poet himself. Tagore says that I fail to understand the deep understanding, the sacrifice, the love on the part of dog that has been offered to a human being by its sheer instinct, what truth it has discovered in man, by its silent, anxious, piteous looks, it cannot communicate what it understands, but it has succeeded in conveying to me, among the whole creation, what is the true status of man. The dog, Tagore says, has deep devotion, has deep love, genuine love for its master. It can sacrifice its life for the sake of his master, for the sake of his human being. See, this is the notable quality among the dumb creatures. This kind of quality that we cannot see in a human being. So this is a very important quality in a dog. The dog has shown that the master deserves ultimate loyalty, and hence the relationship between the dog and the poet is the example of highest loyalty and purest love. The whole life that the dog wants to offer for his master. So it indicates that the dog is a faithful animal which is going to offer his life to the master without any condition. The dog itself acts purely by instinct, that is an inborn quality present in the animal. The dog can understand the feeling, the motivation of the humans automatically and frequently. The dog cannot communicate what it understands, but the poet says that the dog has shown him his status. The dog has proved his identity as a lovable animal towards human being. The dog has shown that the master deserves ultimate loyalty and sacrifice. This relationship has elevated the human being to a higher level than as it is. Hence, the concluding couplet of the song, among the whole creation, what is the true status of man, that the dog can understand only, the dog can realize only, and among the whole creation the dog is the true creature who understand, who recognize human being, and he offers what the human being wants, what the human being desires. So the relationship between human beings and dogs is age old, what Tagore says. The poem captures the essence of this genuine relationship between the dog and the human being. Tagore was well known for his loving attitude towards nature and animals. In this poem, Tagore shows the genuine relationship between the animal and the human being. The speaker, means the poet himself, does not refer to the dog as my dog, which indicates that this dog, which indicates that the dog is a stray dog. It is a wandering dog on the streets and not a domestic animal, not a pet animal regularly living in Tagore's house. However, though it is a stray dog, he came every day, morning time, in order to take a breakfast with the poet. So, this activity of coming every day, sharing the breakfast with the dog, makes a genuine friendship. And this true relationship between this dog and the human being is a special one in this poem. The dog comes and quietly sits with the poet because he wants a recognition on the part of the poet, and in return and in return and in return the poet the poet gives a kind of satisfaction, a kind of recognition to the poet. So this is a kind of mutual relationship. This is a kind of mutual relationship between the poet and the dog. While the human being gives love and recognition to the dog, in return, the dog also offers love and recognition to the whole human being. So, this devotion, this genuine sacrifice is instinctive and automatic in the dumb animals, and the dog is no exception to this. It makes the human being aware of his own status, which is higher one. This dog has thus made the human being a higher animal, but it cannot communicate the feeling verbally. The poet can understand it quite easily through the dog's behavior. In this way, the poem, this dog, depicts the true and genuine relationship between human being and an animal like dog. For the dog, the human being is either a friend or an enemy. It can easily recognize the enemy, but when it gives the status of a friend, the friend is always in the position of a master. And here in this poem, the speaker of the poem, Tagore himself, is a master, and he is a genuine friend of this dog. So the dog devotes its entire life to the human being. In a way, this is the example of highest loyalty and purest love that is offered this dog to the poet. Tagore had the ability to understand the greater secrets of nature and in the animals. He could realize what the dumb creatures were feeling, and accordingly, Tagore gives his own recognition by touching the head of the dog as he understands my genuine master, my true master is here. So this experience is very masterfully presented by Rabindranath Tagore in this short song titled This Dog.